Good morning, friends. Standard 11, subject English, first language. Friends, we had studied error correction in the previous lecture. Right now, we shall go over punctuation. What means punctuation? Full stop, comma. You have been learning this since your standard 6. No amount of legitimate force, no amount of legitimate force could move them, Carter wrote later, what was to be done? What was to be done? Friends, this sentence is without any punctuation mark. Okay. So, he said, he told, in this way, he wrote. So, Carter wrote letter. Is like he said. It must be in the beginning of the sentence. But we have seen in SSC that in indirect speech also, sometimes it is in the middle of the sentence. So it is given middle of the sentence. But whatever is written, whatever is said, it is denoted in inverted comma. So here shall be inverted comma. Now the sentence continues. So here shall be comma. Here again there is comma. And here inverted comma again. Full stop and inverted comma again. No amount of legitimate force could move them. Carter wrote letter. What was to be done? Okay. What was to be done is an interrogative sentence, so there is question mark. So, in this way, comma, inverted comma, question mark are to be added in the sentence given to us. Next sentence. In July 96, in July 1976, my wife Mary, my son Jonathan, 6, daughter Suzanne, 7, daughter Suzanne, 7, and I set sail, from Plymouth, England. From Plymouth, England. In July 1976, my wife Mary, my son Jonathan, 6, daughter Suzanne, 7, and I set sail from Plymouth, England. In July 1976, my wife Mary, my son Jonathan, 6, daughter Suzanne, 7, and I set sail from Plymouth, England. Friends, here in July 1976, afterwards the concept changes. So here is a comma. Now there are the persons are denoted. So after every person there will be a comma. My wife Mary, my son Jonathan, 6, daughter Susan, 7, and I. In this way, after every person, there will be a comma. And I set sail from Plymouth. Now, Plymouth is a name of area. England is country. So here, one comma again. In this way, in July 1976, my wife Mary, my son Jonathan, daughter Suzanne, 7, and I set sail from Plymouth, England. After date, there is a comma. After every person, there is a comma. And after place, if there are two places, there is a comma. Now next one. After date, if there are more than one persons, after every persons, if there are more than one place, after every place, there will be comma. Okay. Considering the forthcoming examination, we are going to practice some paragraphs of indirect speech also, dialogues. Indirect speech, you have been learning since your standard 9. You have learned it in standard 9, in SSC also. We are going for its practice. Frank, I believe there is a rule that from results should only be announced from results should only be announced by the headmaster on the last day of the term. On the last day of the term. Teplo says, yes, but who else pays attention to it? Who else pays attention to it? Except Mr. Crocker Harris. Except Mr. Crocker Harris. Frank says, I don't. I admit. But there's no criterion. But there's no criterion. So, you've got to wait until tomorrow. So, you have got to wait until tomorrow to know your fate. To know your fate. Okay. First sentence, Frank says, I believe there is a rule that form results should only be announced by headmaster on the last day of the term. Frank told, listener is tableau. Listener is tableau. Who is the listener? Tableau. Frank told tableau that I means Frank. So he believed. Believe is present. In indirect speech, present becomes past. So believed. He believed there. Here is. Is becomes was. Present becomes past. Is becomes was. There was a rule that form results should only be announced by the headmaster, by the headmaster on the last day. Last will not become previous year. Last will not become previous year. In indirect speech, last become previous. But in the case of last, is in the sense of last only. Last day of the week, last day, 31st December is the last day of the year. So, it is the last in the sense of last itself. It does not become previous. So, on the last day of the term, Now next sentence, tableau says, tableau yes. Yes means yes becomes replied in positive in indirect speech. Tableau replied in positive. Now, but who else pays attention? But who else pays attention to it except Mr. Crocker Harris? This is a question. So, he further asked, Who else paid attention to it except Mr. Crocker Harris? Except Mr. Crocker Harris. Kepler says yes, but who else paid attention to it except Mr. Crocker Harris? Yes means replied in positive. Next sentence is question. Here is a question mark. Next sentence is question. So he further asked, who else? Page becomes paid. Present becomes past. Present becomes past. Page becomes paid. Who had paid attention to it except Mr. Crocker Harris? Frank says, I don't. Frank replied that he admitted he did not pay attention to it. I admit means what he admits? He admits whatever said in the previous sentence. I admit means what he admits? He admits whatever said in the previous sentence. In the previous sentence, it is said that who else paid attention? So, I don't, I admit. Frank replied that he admitted he didn't pay attention to it. Okay. Now, next sentence, but there's no criterion. He added that. Next sentence is with full stop, assertive. So there will be added that. He added that there was no criterion. There was no criterion. So you have to wait until tomorrow to know your fate. He informed Frank that he had got to wait. He had got to wait until tomorrow becomes the following day. Until the following day, to know his fate. To know his fate. Frank says, I don't, I admit. Frank replied that he admitted he did not pay attention to it. But there is no criterion. He added that there was no criterion. So you have got to wait until tomorrow to know your fate. He informed Frank that he had got to wait until the following day to know his fate. Okay, in this way, the answer is ready here. Frank told Teplo that he believed there was a rule that form results should only be announced by the headmaster on the last day of the term. Teplo replied in positive. He further asked who else paid attention to it except Mr. Crocker Harris. Frank replied that he admitted he did not pay attention to it. He added that there was no criterion. He informed Frank that he had got to wait until the following day to know his fate. In this way, the answer is made. Next paragraph. Next sentence, Sue says, can I have a hug? Can I have a hug? Jonathan says, why am I getting a hug now? Sue says, because you are the best daddy, because you are the best daddy, in the whole world, in the whole world, and the best captain. Okay, next dialogue. Sue says, can I have a hug? Jonathan says, why am I getting a hug now? Sue says, because you are the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain. First this sentence. Sue says, can I have a hug? Here is a question mark. So we shall say, Sue asked her. We shall say, Sue asked her. Here there is no WH. If there is no WH, if will be used. So, if question becomes assertive, So, can I is considered as I can. I means the speaker. Speaker is a lady. So, if she, present becomes past. So, can becomes could. If she could. have a hug? She asked her if she could have a hug. In this way, this sentence will be changed into indirect. Jonathan says, why am I getting a hug now? Jonathan here is a question mark. So asked her. Jonathan asked her. Here WH is there. So if will not be used. But WH itself will be used. Jonathan asked her why. Question becomes assertive in indirect. Question becomes assertive in indirect. So MI will be considered as I am. I means speaker. Speaker is a male. So I becomes he. Why he? Present becomes past. So M becomes was. Why he was getting. Why he was getting a hug now becomes then. So hug then. Jonathan says, why am I getting a hug now? Jonathan asked her why he was getting a hug then. In this way, this sentence will be turned into indirect. Next sentence. Sue says, because you are the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain. Sue replied that it is the reply of this question. So replied. Sue replied that it was because you means listener. You means listener. Listener is Jonathan, means a man. So you becomes he. Because he. Present becomes past. So R becomes was. He was the best daddy. The best daddy in the whole world. In the whole world. And the best captain. And the best captain. Sue replied that it was because. Because means it was because. You means he. You means listener. Listener is a man. So you means he. Present becomes past. So R becomes was. He was the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain. In this way, this sentence is converted into indirect. Now the answer is ready. What is the answer? She asked her if she could have a hug. Jonathan asked her why he was getting a hug then. She replied that it was because he was the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain. Okay. In this way, we have also gone through indirect speech also. Now we shall continue in the next lecture. Next lecture, we shall go through transformation, do as directed.